Welcome, everyone, to There's a Lot of Nothing to Say. We have our host, Ethan, and your other host, Kyle. That's
Oh,
me.
hello.
Okay, today we have a variety of topics that we obviously know what we're going to talk about before we get into this episode. We know, you don't know, but we know, and we're ready. Right, Ethan?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, first off,
Take it
Merry
away.
Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody, based upon when this should be coming out, I believe. Um,
Yep.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Um, it is not the New Year yet, so we are time travelers.
But
This
it's
was
already Christmas.
whoa, crazy. Yeah. Although,
How's the snow?
yeah. How's the snow?
I might be able to show you.
Is there a window within quick looking distance?
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything, and I'll.
Hold on, I'll show you.
I mean, wow, the snow. It's so white and snowy. That's pretty. Where's your snowmobile? Is that it? That's your snowmobile out there?
Yep.
Cool. Ah,
Out there waiting for me.
well, speaking of cold, we had a very eventful cold couple of days. Even though it's not that cold, it's still cold enough
Pretty
to.
sure the high is 60 like tomorrow.
The high the other day was like
40.
30. No, it was like on Christmas Day, it was like 37. Like it wasn't even like the high was 37 that day. Um,
Oh, it was telling me the high was like 41 for Tampa.
41 was yesterday. Uh, sorry,
And then 61.
41 was sorry, 41 was Christmas. 37 was the day before it was Christmas Eve. Yesterday it was like 40. And then
Today's like 61, right?
today is nice, yeah. But like, okay, so here's the issue. Um,
The low is still like 30, though, I think.
we were everybody was hungover on this day. It was the first day it was cold, and because well, sorry, we were hungover because we went over on Friday, the day before Christmas Eve, to Katie's family's house to have like a Christmas dinner with them because we weren't going to be able to
Right,
stay
and then you
over.
came and drank more on Christmas Eve at
Yes,
Grandma's
but
house, didn't you?
this was Christmas Eve that we were waking up, and it was the colder day. We wake up in the
Mm.
morning and it is freezing cold in the house. It's literally like 50, like 7 degrees in the house, like in the house.
Mm.
Maybe 60 degrees in the house, which is cold. It's cold in the house. So like for your house to be that temperature, you're like, why? Like, and so
Why?
it's not like if your heat wasn't working there, it'd be like -4 in the building right now. But
It's actually not that bad. It's like
like
20, I want to say it's 28 degrees outside right now.
that's pretty good. But
Actually, all the
it'd
stuff's
still be like
melting, so
30 something degrees in there if it were cold. But we wake up and Megan and Victor wake up and they're like, "Oh God, it's cold. Let's turn the heat on." And we hadn't seen this notification from our apartment complex yet because
and you don't put the heat on.
they didn't say don't put the heat on. They said to make sure before you turn your heat on to open all of the windows in your apartment because it's going to start burning dust and it's going to set off your fire alarms. Um, so they said to open all the windows. And so Megan and Victor, we are hungover. The fire alarms start going off, and we're just like, "There's a fire!" We're just like, and we smell like what smells like burning. And we're like, "Oh my god!" And I get up and I walk out there. And I'm like, just turn it off. We turn it off. Leave it be. It's cold, but we're leaving that day. So we leave, we come back that night. It is cold. And we had gotten back so late that we had seen that post saying to do that, but it was so late that like we couldn't go into Megan and Victor's room and be like, excuse us, we have to open your window and then turn on the thing and possibly set the fire alarms off at like 3 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve, you know? We're not going to do that, you know?
Um,
So we come back in, we go sleep, and poor
so it's
AC,
like 27 degrees outside, and your
oh,
house is like 30 degrees.
it's cold in here, yeah. And like where we were more worried, it wasn't like 30, it was like 58 to 60, like at this point in time. In the morning, it got colder because it had been that cold all night, and so it was coldest in the mornings. We were worried because Katie has snakes, um, and so then their temps
Well,
were
the heat
like,
lamps were there, right?
yeah, but even with a heat lamp, the cold will still get into the tank and it'll decrease the temperature. Thankfully, Hassani's warm side was still warm enough, but Maple's tank was like getting dangerously low, like to the point that like if we couldn't get it up at least like 5 degrees, it puts her at risk. She probably won't die, but it put her at risk for like a respiratory infection to just basically get sick. And
Mm.
we were like super worried about that, so we got one of the underheating things. We like wrapped her tank in like a towel and like tried to like keep it as warm as possible. And then on the other, so that's really all we could do in that moment in time. Because we have Ace, we can't, like most people will say, take them out, literally put them in a like and just like put them in a pillowcase and then like put them in your shirt and just like lay with them to keep their temperature high. Um, but it wasn't
Uh-huh.
that, but their tanks weren't that cold to the point. It was reaching like close to the temperature that was is like they're gonna get a respiratory infection if they're in that temperature for over a long amount of time, but it wasn't there yet. And we were able to raise the temps a little bit, but we couldn't turn the heat on, and that happened for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And finally, Monday we were able to do it, and I'll get to that part of the story in that. But also on the other days, on both of those days, Ace, the same cats, like relatively warm temperatures. They don't really do well in cold because they don't regulate their body temperature well. So they recommend to give them a really warm spot, which we have some warm spots, but Ace doesn't like getting in things for some reason. Like we have like a area that's literally like a blanket on the inside that he can just like crawl into this bundled blanket pocket, but he doesn't like to do that.
Is he just still sitting up there?
No, he's eating his food. Um,
Okay. Him sitting up there was funny, where he's just like,
yeah, and so he, for those 2 days, literally came right next to me and would lay down. The coldest night, he laid next to me, like where this pillow is basically. He laid against the, like near the wall, and then I literally like came over and literally just like kind of held him, and he just laid and like cuddled against me because I have body heat, and cats will do that whenever they're cold. They'll lay against other cats to get body heat, and he was laying with me to get body heat. Um, and I basically
"Aw,
cuddled Ace like
that's
all
sad."
night. I was really worried about him, and Katie's like, he's gonna be okay. It's not that cold to the point that it's dangerous, and it wasn't. But he's cold. I don't want him to get cold, and so I
Right,
agreed.
he's not a snake though.
No, he's
He's
not a
like
snake.
warm blooded. Like he
The snakes temperatures get that low, it can be deadly, um, and it's scary. Uh,
he has fur, and he have you guys. Snake's
he's
in a
gonna be
cage.
okay. Well, but like another thing that sucks though is that we were supposed to feed them on those days, but you cannot feed snakes when they get that cold, because it will almost guarantee a regurg. It's almost guaranteed for like regurgitate their food. Um, And so really all we've been doing is just monitoring their temps and stuff. But AC was cuddling against me. It was so sweet for those past 2 nights. Um, and I got to cuddle my kitty, and he was very happy. One of the nights he was
Is it
laying
warm
in between
now?
Katie's legs that were flat. He was laying in the blanket between her legs and sleeping there. And yesterday, we got home. Finally, we had time because we were finally not out all day doing stuff with family. Um, we had time to come here and open all the windows and do the heat. And not only that, but I feel like Victor and Megan, because this is Victor and Megan's first time really like living in a place that like it got this cold. It's for Megan's first time like living alone. I turned it to like 68 because it was colder than that, and let the house heat up slowly. And then we also got some firewood and put it on our little fireplace, and we made a little fire. It was nice. And we had cocoa. That was last night.
Yeah, I've been drinking Coke. There's an espresso bar opened up in the Snow Lodge, and I've been like every day after lunch, I go to the really cute espresso girl and I get hot cocoa. And I'm like, give me hot cocoa, but I want some coffee in it, and then I want whipped cream. And she'll be like, okay.
Really cute espresso girl, huh?
Well, there's two of them. And my buddies who always come with me, Dylan and Darren and Darian, they're all named very similar. And that's their real names, and they're all named like that. And they all come with me, and they all have like wives or girlfriends. But every single time we go, one of them's like a really like she's like a redhead with like tattoos, and then the other one's like a brunette, but she has like a British accent. And so every time we go and we leave the espresso bar, they're all like, "Dude, that British accent!" So, like, there's such.
The British one is your safer option. That's all I'm gonna say.
There's a. I don't know what you mean, buddy. Politically and other stuff wise, I don't know if they are. I think they're both pretty similar. But no, they're really nice, and I like talking to them. But I just go to have someone to talk to. They're going, and they're like, oh my gosh, and I'm just like,
what are the tattoos on the tattooed redhead girl?
Oh, scenes of like birds and like feathers, like murals and stuff. It's really pretty.
Is there a dream?
Not like full body tattoos either.
Is there a dream catcher anywhere?
A dream catcher? Are you diagnosing a girl? I'm not even
tattoos.
But I'm not even. I don't even care about that.
This is so horrible. I'm such a horrible person. Oh God.
No, you're. Hey.
No, I'm
no, you're not.
I'm making a stereotypical assumption based upon the description and the tattoos. If there was a Disney tattoo, a Dreamcatcher tattoo, or a any sort of Studio Ghibli film. Studio Ghibli was a little bit safer, but those three on a redhead with tattoos typically mean some form of trauma in the past or something. I don't know why, but that is based upon prior data in which I have observed.
No, I don't know, but I don't know the specifics on it. I guess I'm doing research for the next time we podcast about espresso bar girls. Anyway,
I do just want to say I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be sorry to anybody who's offended by anything I said. I wasn't trying to mean it like that. I was being stereotypical, and it's all part of a joke.
Yeah, but they always every time we go, they like do dumb crap, or they like mess with me about it, and like say like, oh wow, but they're all dating or married to somebody, so it's just like, well, I think except Darren. Darren's just normal like me, like not like normal as in like he could actually say something. They both usually just like mention it and then they like back off because they can't talk about it. But like Darren will be like, so the British one, we were playing Monty Python, and like that's funny.
I just found an AC claw. Katie cut his claws the other day.
His claws, man. I heard the other day when we were playing D&D, you guys were like, oh, there's a claw stuck to the mat.
Well, you get that tree. You go. Oh, he's having such a good time. Okay. Want
to hear a story?
Sorry, wait. I didn't finish what I was gonna say. I'm just watching. Sorry.
Okay.
It's really cute. Oh yeah, so I had cocoa, but what I've been doing is we also have coquito, which is delicious. Coquito is basically typically any type of rum. You can make it like a coconut rum, or you can do any type of rum really, but typically a white rum of some form. mixed with like condensed milk and like cinnamon and a couple of other things I can't think of off the top of my head. But he, one of Katie's coworkers had made some coquito, and given us some for like a Christmas present, and it was super nice. I love coquito; it's one of my favorite things. Um, and one night we were having hot cocoa, and I was like, "Oh, genius!" And I poured probably about a shot of coquito into my hot cocoa, and made I call it cocoquito. Cocoquito is the best drink ever. It's cinnamony and just there's no taste of alcohol whatsoever. It's a warm, delicious drink, and if you just put a little bit of whipped cream on top, it's just it's so good. It's so delicious.
You poured coquito into your hot cocoa.
Into my hot cocoa.
So it's like 3 parts cocoa.
The coquito doesn't have any chocolate in it.
But it has like flavored liquor or something.
It's you can put a flavored rum, but it's rum, condensed milk,
Yeah.
and a couple of other things. Like this one has like cinnamon. Like she literally put cinnamon sticks in it and let it like stew in the cinnamon sticks. I can pull up what specifically coquito.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
It's gonna
No.
take me something.
No.
But it's
No.
it's like a I think it's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it's
It's
it's a
some
like
sort
a
of Central
similar to like
America.
Puerto Rican like eggnog. It's is what people call it, I guess.
You had eggnog. They served Ethan. They served frickin' spiced eggnog.
Ooh.
We had dinner time. Like they got us. So the funny thing about your guys' Christmas dinner and ours, I had the same thing. I had prime rib with mashed potatoes and gravy, and like asparagus and green beans and stuff. Like same sort of thing. And they had like spiked eggnog.
That sounds
Dude, it
delicious.
was good. Like it was a good dinner. I was happy. I was like, oh, this reminds me of home.
Okay,
Like
so
I felt really good about it, and then I came back, and you guys don't know, but I came back, and they all call it like I called them, and they all opened like the little bits of presents they had for me there, and I got to see Katie and Ethan, and I loved those two, and I got to see my mom and my dad, and mom and my dad have Discord now, so we can actually video call whenever we want to call.
if
So
you want to meet our parents, let us know. Although I feel like
I'd love to have Dad on here. I think he'd be funny.
I feel like Dad would just end up somehow like cursing every 5 seconds, and I would hate it. I don't think Dad's cursed in a while though. Actually,
No, he's not really cursing anymore.
Dad would try
He's
and
doing
make a
actually
joke.
really good.
Dad would make too many inappropriate jokes too quickly.
That's what he does still. He does bad jokes.
He doesn't
Well,
curse anymore.
the most he was doing it though was that night you guys were all together and like you were drinking for Christmas. He was making a lot of jokes. But he hasn't actually been making that many when we talk on the phone. He usually just asks about me and
Yeah, but if he could see our faces and we're talking like we do normally on here, he'd get like caught up in like the like friendly atmosphere and just be like, and that's what makes a man go boom. And you'd be like, what?
what, Dad? What was that? What are you talking? Man, go boom. Wait, I don't even know what we're talking about.
I just said something that could be taken in many ways, and that's about it.
That's
So-
what makes a man
So here's
go boom.
what's in coquito is typically a rum. They typically will get like an aged rum with like with hints of vanilla or nutmeg in it or something like that. Cinnamon, sweetened condensed milk, cream of coconut. Uh, Sometimes you can do coconut milk. I don't think we did. We might have done coconut milk, but coconut milk, evaporated milk, ground nutmeg, and vanilla extract. Um, and that's what a lot of people currently put in coquito. Um, and it's really and there's a lot of optional ingredients, and a lot of people make it, um, however they were taught or just however they want. Typically, they'll find the recipe that works well for them, and we want to get the recipe from this person because they made this coquito it's thicker, but it's so good. So yeah, sorry, you wanted to tell a story?
Oh yeah. So now I'm actually hot. This blanket's too warm. So basically, so the last few days have been rough because, as you know, like Thursday of last week, it got to negative 44 degrees here. Then, by Saturday, it was 30 degrees. So a cold snap happened, and like all of the pipes in those old cabins on the mountain here that guests will stay at, they all burst.
All of them?
So, yeah, like out of the 33 cabins, probably about 20 of them had water heater backflow issues where the cold water snapped and then the water flowed back, or it had it backfed up it through the hot water into the tank, and then the tank like exploded, or like the pipes just froze. And then there was one place where we like would heat it up, and we were trying to heat it with like a torch. So we had people just going on watches for fire watches for soldering these pipes, and we're like blow torching them, and they would expand just in one spot where they would heat up fastest, and then they would just explode. And so it was a lot of pro-pressing cut pipe for like days and days. But one of the ones that was the craziest is a smaller, older cabin we moved from Grant to here.
Oh.
Yeah, because a lot of these oldest cabins we actually took from everywhere in the whole entire location in the national park.
Like the ones that we stayed in or something like that, you know.
Yeah, it's like one of the old, but like no, not like the ones we stayed in. Those are actually new. These are like one of the old ones they had like back in the 90s and stuff that were moved here.
Oh, wow.
And it has a residential 1.5-inch pipe, which we don't have a water key for, so we can't like turn the water off below the house. So the pipe bursts, and we need to put like a cap on it to stop the flow of water from like spraying up, you know, and and it's me and my mentor, like a guy who's the maintenance lead, John, and one of my friends, Dylan, and we're all there, and we're like, okay, we gotta find a water key for this. So we're like flying back and forth between the shop and here. Water keys are long, like very long. So when you ride on a snowmobile with them, I have Dylan behind me, and he's like holding it like a spear, like holding onto my shoulder. He's like, go, go! And we're like flying across the snow. I'm like churning, and he's like, stay back! Stay back! And we're like flying across, and we would get there, and it would just be like, ding, too big! And then we would put it back on our shoulder and fly back and get a new one, and we just keep coming back and forth.
Just going back and forth, trying to figure out which one would fit.
Yeah. None of them did. The one that did was too short. It was only like a 3-foot pipe. We needed like 5 feet of pipe to be able to actually like get down to the water turnoff. So finally, we're all standing there, and we've been shoveling like 10 feet of snow out from the side of this cabin to find the water key, because it's like the water turnoff is on the ground next to the cabin wall.
Yeah.
So we had to shovel down to ice, and then take a sledgehammer and like break up the ice, just like, and we get in there, and oh gosh, finally I'm just like, okay, we're just gonna have to shark bite the pipe. So shark bite is where you take a pipe cutter and a clamp, and you just cut into the pipe, and then take the clamp and squeeze the pipe together till it like clamps without a pro press. A pro press is a lot more efficient than like, this is basically like a cut and patch system where you're cutting a cap onto the pipe. And dude, I was like, we're just gonna have to do it while it's running. It is cold. Like, at this point in time, it's so early in the morning, it's probably like 18 degrees outside, and the water is cold water that's like pumping out. So I'm like, I'll go in and do it. John is there, and he's like, whoa! Me and Dylan are like about to go in there, and he's about to like put his hand on the pipe while I like slam the cap down, and then he's gonna hold it while I get the shark bite ready, and we're gonna like clamp it down. And no, that doesn't happen. John stops both of us, and he's like, no, I don't need you two getting sick. It's better if just me go. I'll go in there. I have more experience with this. And we're both like, what, John? You're going to get soaked to the bone. At least if one of us helps you, like, we can get out of the room faster and the water will stop. He's like, no. Shut the door after me. And so we open the bathroom door. Water's just like, and he just walks in and just looks at us, and we just shut the door. And you just hear, and you just hear water, and we see it like coming out from beneath the door now because it's hitting stuff. And he's in there like 5 minutes, just struggling with this. We're just waiting there, and like we're waiting, and we go outside because we're just like, this sucks to listen to. Let's just go outside. So we go outside. We're like,
Did he like his clothes like freeze while going back to get a change of clothes? Like all like
yeah. So he comes out. Finally, we hear it stop. We just hear dripping, and then we hear a. Open the door. He's soaked like head to foot. All of his clothes, his boots have like water in him. He's like holding one. He's like putting it back on. He just looks at us. He's like shaking. He's like, "We're good. We're all good."
did you just
And John's
take him
like,
right back to
John's like an older guy too. And I don't know if I've told you before, but he really reminds me of like Grandpa. He's like a very quiet, smart, like stern guy, and he like will teach you stuff, and he's really patient about it. Like he'll teach you through stuff.
I've heard a lot
And
of John seems like a really nice guy. You guys
he's probably like, I'd say he's like close to 60. He's probably like 57, 58 years old, so he's younger. So he kind of reminds me of Papa too,
like that as well.
with like his hard work. Like he's been in construction for like 30 years, and he's like been a maintenance lead for like 2 years now here, and like he's always been like working like this. So he kind of like a mix between my grandpas. So I really like him as like a worker, and he's really patient and a cool guy, and he's nice, because he did not have to go in there being who he is. Like we two like a 25-year-old guy and a 29-year-old guy would have more. We should have gone in there,
Dude, he was
but no.
exhausted, cold, sap.
He gets out and he just immediately is like, close the door, close the door. And he starts like just taking off clothes. He's just like on the heater, like crouched in front of it, just like, oh, oh. His clothes is like freezing on the ground, like shrinking. And Dylan gave him like one of his jackets, and then he put his other jacket on top of it, and put his clothes in the basket, and like drove back home. And he was gone like probably like 40 minutes. He got like a warm shower, not hot. Took like a warm shower, dried off really good, got like fresh clothes on, and came back. And he hasn't been sick or anything. He had like a sniffle for a while, but he's okay. Thank God. But like, I remember the best part about that story is he's there and he's standing in front of the heater just shivering. And he looks at us and he's like, I'm glad you guys didn't go in there. That's how a man goes boom. And he just shivered there on the floor.
And you brought it back. It was funny. Oh my god, hilarious. So it's Christmas Day, right?
Yeah.
We are at grandma's house at this moment in time. Katie and I have been there. We've been there probably an hour by now. Dad, before Julie and them got there, decided that he wanted to, go outside really quick and have a cigarette, right? And he asked us if we wanted to just come out with him, and we were like, yeah, sure. And so we started to go outside with him, and he walked out the front door, and he's like, what? There's a present out here? And we both were walking out, and we see sitting on the front porch is a gift bag, with tissue paper sticking out of it and something in it. And we're like, this is a little bit weird. And we open it, and inside it is just this large glass bottle filled with a liquid that looks kind of like maybe like eggnog or something. Or like, is it eggnog? Coquito looks extremely similar to eggnog. So we're like, is it coquito? Like, what is it? What drink is this? And so we take it out and we look in the bag to find like a card, see if like maybe I doubt it was like a neighbor or something like that. When we were looking, we're like, I guess maybe like a neighbor like made these for like neighbors or something like that, or somebody just went around giving these out to random people, or maybe mail. I don't know. Somebody must have left this here. We need to know who. And so we start searching for a card. There is no card whatsoever in this bag. So we're just like,
We shouldn't drink this.
Yeah, fishy glass bottle filled with liquid that looks kind of like
Was it
magnum.
Dad?
Huh?
Was it Dad?
No,
Did he just leave it out there?
Dad's like, and we're like looking for it. We're like, we put it back in the bag, put everything back in the bag, tissue paper, everything like that. We're like, nope, and we just walk back inside. We leave it out there, and we're like, it's weird. Like, we're just gonna ignore that. Like, we don't know who did that. Like, if like I feel bad for whoever left it for us if it was like actually like a kind gesture, but we don't know who gave this to us, so we're not gonna drink it, right? Which is the correct decision. Don't drink things you don't know what they are. AC, calm down. And so we are inside. Give it probably an hour or so, right? We're inside for probably an hour or so. Julie gets here. Grandma sits down on the couch, and Grandma sits there and she gets a call on her phone. She picks up her phone and she's like, "Hello, hello, oh, hello, blah blah. Oh, oh, outside. Oh, okay, okay, thank you." And she hangs up, and she's like, I guess Catherine left something at our front door. And all Dad, Caitlin, and I all go, oh, okay. And we all start to walk back towards the front door.
I thought so, because it was like alcohol or like spiked eggnog or something, like just outside.
And so we all just start walking back towards the front door to go get this. She's like, she said it's coquito. And Caitlin and I just go, yes. Like,
We love coquito.
it's so good. And Grandma didn't know what coquito was, and it was really sweet, and she liked coquito. And so we all get the coquito, and it's nice and cold because it's been outside in the freezing weather. Because it was like a degree above freezing. It was just above freezing, basically. And so we all come back inside with this nice ice cold coquito, and all pour a glass of coquito for everybody, and we all have some coquito. Well, fun thing that happened later is we're at it's nighttime, and Grandma goes to lay in bed, right? She goes to lay in bed, and she asked for a glass of coquito to have with her so she could go and lay in bed, and that she got from Catherine. She liked it. It's sweet and delicious. It's very, very good. And so she goes and she's in bed and she drinks her coquito and she's laying in bed, and we all go to say goodnight to her. And Mom comes back out in a little bit, and she's like, so Grandma is laying in there like this. She's just like, she has her bed like sat up like this, right? It's like just slightly tilted up. She's laying in bed like this, like her arms out, like on the bed. But she's like, and my mom's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yes, I'm just very tired." And we're like, she's like, "Well, like what was it?" She's like, "I think it might have been the coquito." And she's like, Mom, you had a glass of coquito. She's like, maybe it's because I took my tramadol before. And we're like, Grandma, you can't drink alcohol with tramadol twice. So Grandma's laid out in bed, just, kind of basically crossfaded on tramadol and coquito.
She's just high.
Right? And it was funny. It was a funny thing.
Well, the only and we have to remember.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't do it. That's okay.
It's not. It's not why. It is not. I'm not doing it.
But that's why a man goes boom.
No, it's
Ethan.
not. Where is that associated at all?
Tramadol and coquito. That's how a man goes boom. We know this.
So a lot of people go boom. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Dude, that's dope. That's hilarious.
It was so funny. I felt so bad. Poor Grandma. She was so tired from Christmas too.
Did she have a good time?
I think she did. Yeah. Hi, AC. Let's see if you can see the kitty.
Oh, guys, it's a kitty cat. It's a rare sighting of a kitty cat.
Oh no.
Oh no, no, no! Oh yay! Oh, angry. Frustrated cat, just like no, no.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
that was one of the funnier things that happened. A lot of good stories came from these past couple of days. Um,
it's funny, dude. Like,
but it was really funny. I thought it was strange when I went to say goodnight to Grandma why she seemed like so just like out of it, just like
she's just laying there like.
just her body. I'm sure was literally just like numb, probably.
She probably felt like marshmallows being heated in a microwave.
Oh man. Did anything else eventful happen for you for Christmas? Did you do anything else that was kind of fun?
Well, hmm.
Did you go to the pub or anything like that?
Oh, we went out into like a deep snowdrift on the snowmobile.
That's not good.
So, yeah, I'll tell that story. So, Dylan and I are taking a bunch of trash, like torn out pieces of like molded wood because all this wood got wood damage, so they were like replacing a ton of the sheetrock and wood and insulation and stuff from like the inn. And we all like took that. It probably took us like 4 trips, and I fricked my back up, dude. Like it's all my ribs like going all the way across still hurt so bad. Because the trash bin for contractors is like this big cranking trash can you have to crank open, and then like when you're standing in the snow, you sink down like 3 or 4 feet till you're like looking up, and you just like throw it up in. You're like, and you're like tossing all
You're like,
this
please
really
go in.
heavy,
Go.
like wet stuff that keeps like freezing in the back of your trailer as you like throw it. Well, Dylan, right? The first time we went on the trip, and the second time we parked the snowmobile out on the packed pathway and walked through the snow to where the trash can is, and then cranked it open and threw it in, and then cranked it back down. And it was probably like 4 bags of trip we could fit in the sled. And frickin' finally on the third or fourth trip, I think the third one, because the next 2 trips we did this. He's like, dude, do you see the beginning of that ski path where people have been skiing back here? And a ski path is like 2 thin skis, just like not the width of a snowmobile at all. And I'm like, yeah. Skis are like snowshoes, though. You're like floating on top because like it's spreading your body weight out so much. This is a snowmobile carrying a sled of heavy, wet, frozen garbage, and we're both on this. And he's like, "You're a really good snowmobile driver. Just take us back down the hill, back behind this, in like 4 or 5 feet of snow." And I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe if I went by myself and you like walked to me, that way, we didn't have to carry the garbage. And he's like, no, just get, let's go. When I tell you, we're like on a hill, just
sliding down the hill.
and we just vanish into like snow that's like up to our armpits. The snowmobile's just in the snow. The handlebars are the only thing out.
This is not your snowmobile.
No, it's not a good snowmobile. It probably hasn't had an oil change in like 3 years. It's like an old 600 Skidoo. It's super old. And like, because these snowmobiles get rated by Bug for like 5 to 6 years for you to use them in the park. For like, in a national park, there's like certain rules for emissions from like your vehicles or whatever. So you have to run it like in eco mode. Well, let's just say I did not run it in eco mode. I threw it into sport mode, which like throws up the torque and like your idle like a ton. And I just and we're like we're flipping all around as we like drive back, and I'm like standing with one knee on the seat, and I'm just like, Dylan, don't move a freaking muscle. We're gonna roll over, and we make it. And we take our shovels and we start like clearing out a path for us to like come back. And get all the trash out. The second time we come, the first time we do this, I just back us back up the same path. But I back us up the same path just backwards, right? So I put it in reverse, which is like this clamp down by your foot you pull, and it's just like, and we're just, and the trailer keeps like swerving out to either side, so I keep having to like correct.
Because it's just on
we make
skis,
it back,
right? This trailer is just like a trailer on skis to go across snow, right?
It's like a bobsled.
Oh, okay.
It's on a trailer hitch, but it's like a bobsled, but it's a really small bobsled. We have like a bigger one, but the carpenter usually uses that one for like ladders and wood. It has like a rack on it, and it's actually like bigger, and yeah, it's on skis, like on the bottom. So it's like this big metal tub to carry stuff, and it's got a rack for like ladders and tools, and it's on skis. But ours is just a little sled you would like slide down a hill with, and it's just connected to a trailer hitch that spins in case like the sled starts spinning behind you when you turn. It won't like, rip you to the right. It'll just spin on the hitch, so it doesn't like cause problems while you're driving. We back out, go get the last load of stuff. When we get the last load of stuff, this time it's cleared out pretty good, and it's heavy enough in the back where we like clear a path down. But we have not cleared the path back out because the hill that you're on is like this, and then it slopes up and it just goes like that. It's like a tilt like this.
It's a bank. It's a bank for a person who skis. It's not a... It's supposed to be like that so that you can come up on skis and go the other way.
So basically, we finish unloading the last of the trash, and then Dylan just looks at me and he's like, let's just go out through the other side. And I look at him and I'm like, have you ever driven in deep snow before? And he's just like, nope. But you're great at cornering, and you're good at this, dude. Like, you must have been, snowmobiling for a few years now. And I just look at him, and I just stop, and I look up, and I pray. I'm like, God, give me the wherewithal to get through this. And I start up the engine, and I look at him, and I go, no, I'm from Florida. And I just gun it through the snow, like, just up the hill. We ramp like this, and I just kind of, like, wiggle the handle, and we just flop, and just we're just like... And we get all the way through, and we just peel out, and then and you can just hear the engine. And there's snow, like, all in the intakes, so we just had to go clear it out. But he looked at me after I said that. He was, like, holding... There are handles to hold on to. He held on to me, like, as we went through. And then he just looked at me, and he's like... Oh, we made it. And I just looked back at him, and I was like, and that's how a man goes boom. And that's the end of the story.
I'm visibly upset. It's funny. It's funny, but...
I can tell you the story of us playing cornhole.
Sure. Please enlighten us with your cornhole knowledge.
Okay, so last night I was going to get some pizza at the pub because what I like to do is on my day off, my Friday, which is a Monday, when these episodes come out, and I like to instead of grabbing dinner, I grab like breakfast and lunch at the cafeteria, and then I go to the pub, which is like an employee area for you to get drinks and food and stuff, and I get like dinner. I get like a big pizza and like a chicken wrap or something, and I eat the chicken wrap and then I go to sleep. And then I have pizza for like the next 2 days that I can just fry up in my air fryer, so I don't have to like leave. I can just explore and then like come right back to my room and just eat, or just chill out and watch movies or something, on my days off, because I'm so tired usually. I just pull out my giant warm heat pad and I just massage, fall asleep on the bed, and take naps all day or something. But I was at the pub, and there was some friends of mine. We're gonna call them Caleb and Lisa, and they were playing cornhole. So Caleb is like a frat boy kind of guy.
Okay.
I met him because during a shakedown, which is where the restaurant here lets the employees eat, to like test out the server skills. We got sat together like randomly, Lisa, Caleb, and me, and we had a really nice time. They were really fun people to talk to. Lisa's like from
couple. Are they a couple?
I don't know if they're a couple. I don't think so exactly. They're more like good friends. I think Lisa and Caleb are single. Or Caleb's already dating somebody and Lisa's single. But Lisa's from where Dad's from.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Do they know him? Did they meet them?
No, this was her first season ever. This is her first. So it's his first full season. He was here summer and he's here winter. This is her first time ever here. She came in winter. Yeah. I think she's transportation. She's really cool. Tall. She's like 5'11". Like, so with like her shoes on, she's like taller than me, like consistently.
That's another reason I'm kind of happy Katie didn't go up there for winter season, because winter season, like if we had decided to go up, like winter season being your first season is tough. I feel like
she loves it though, dude. It's so fun being up here. It's so fun. Like, so we're up here and we're in the pub and they're playing cornhole and Caleb's already wasted. He's already toasted, and he's like, "Dude, Lisa's like that's a woman right there. Lisa plays cornhole." Like, no, I know. And Lisa's just like bragging, hands on hips, like, "That's right, I play cornhole very well." Like, and so they hoop me into playing. We're playing, and I'm pretty decent at cornhole. I'm not like great, but I'm like consistent enough where I can, one out of my 3 shots I always land like perfectly in. And so it's a pretty like back and forth battle, and we end up deciding that we go 2 rounds each, with them like throwing and then us throwing. We're doing like red and they're green, and we're throwing. It's him and Lisa on a team, and then I'm with another one of their friends, Amy, and we're playing just. And it gets to the point where they decide for the 3rd round, they're like, "We're just going to pick the best players out of us and we'll play." And so Amy picks me and Caleb picks Lisa, and we're going just one-on-one, like, trying to win cornhole. And basically Lisa starts cheating. She starts aiming like at my balls or my head, just like. So I'm like doing little like, oh, I'm like doing little hops as I'm like, this is not how you throw cornhole, by the way, but not how I throw it. But, well, some of them I have. Some of them I've just like jumped back and been like, by the power of like Zeus's bolt, just like shoot it in the hole. But we're playing and she's cheating viciously, but she still ends up like winning the game.
She's good.
I don't want to talk about it. She's good at cornhole, and then so she comes over and just starts taunting me because she's made all of hers in, and she's like, "You have to make these last 2 in, or you're gonna lose the game." And I'm like, "Okay." She's just like right behind me. She's like, "Come on." She like starts massaging my shoulder. She's like, "Come on, champ. Come on, it's okay. You got this." I'm just like, that's why I look like this, because she's so tall. I'm like, all
right.
So I land them, which causes me to get smacked in the back of the head. I land them, and then we go for like a rematch, but it can't be a normal rematch, right? Of course it can't. So we have to do, like when you do the crab walk where you're like on your hands and feet and you're like arched in a back bend? Mm-hmm. We're doing that, but we're also having to toss it like grandma style, like between the legs out.
Okay.
Anyway, turns out I'm one shot in the hole better than Lisa at this one style of ridiculous cornhole. And we win. Me and Amy win, and we're like cheering. And Caleb's like, "Yeah!" And he joins our team, and we're all jumping. And Lisa's just pouting. And we all go over and give Lisa a group hug, and she's like, "Get off me!" And we're like, "Fine." And then I give them some of my pizza, and I get my box of pizza, and I start to leave, and they're all like, "Bye, Kyle." I'm like, "Bye." And then I stop at the door, and there's a moment of silence, and I turn back over my shoulder, and I'm like, and that's how a man goes boom. And then I leave. Scene ends.
I keep not expecting it, but like I know it's coming every time. But like I keep hoping that it's not gonna be there, and it keeps surprising me because I'm just like, listen, fun story, and then you're like, ruin everything. Boom, done.
Why do you hate That's How a Man Goes Boom so
I don't
bad?
hate it. I just don't expect it, and I don't like it. All right, it's fine. All right. Well, that is awesome. Cool. I think we're good. Do you think there's anything else you wanted to talk about?
Check out my book, Older Than Eternity, on
I
Apple.
was just about
Not
to
on
say
Apple,
that.
on
Do I
Amazon.
have it with me right now? Kind
There it is, Older Than Eternity.
Claire, back it up a little bit, and turn it slightly, like tilt it a little bit, like this. Yeah. Older Than Eternity. It's really cool.
Yep. Part of the first book of the New Earth series by Kyle V. Walker. There's like the inside. You can see that better.
Maybe we'll read an excerpt of it or something like that. In the next
And look, well, yeah. There's me.
Yeah, I really thought you should have chosen a different photo. It's such a strange photo to choose as your photo for your.
I love it. I did the brushwork on that digitally myself.
Yeah, it looks good. It's just I thought you could. It's an interesting.
Isn't it cool? Look.
It's an interesting choice. It's an interesting choice. I would have done.
It is
like the normal
300 and 326 pages. Minus the epilogue.
That is good. All right. Cool. Kyle, end this out for us and join us next time.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking out our podcast sponsored by Kyle Walker, author of Older Than Eternity. And Nate, our wonderful editor, who gets paid all the money while we get paid nothing.
Don't forget God. Sponsored by God.
God is... Oh, no, for sure. God is the reason I was able to even write my book. I think he's the one who gives me the patience to get through everything I do day to day and all the frustrations. He's the one who makes sure that I'm in the mental state and like the spiritual state to be good to other people. And, he's helped Ethan, he's helped me. Our family is like kind of driven by that, by our blessings we've gotten just by being able to live good lives. And God's the reason for that. My book, what I have. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in to There's a Lot to Say, nothing to say. Every Monday, check us out. We post it regularly, and I'm actually thinking we'll talk about this after. But all right, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Candyland. End the episode now.